Brought to you by Nordic Podcast.
What's your counter argument to AI taking our jobs?
There will always be a need for human interaction and human services. Just like when you go to a dentist or a hairdresser or anything. Maybe I saw a YouTube, a guy building a robot to cut your hair. That
I don't think
takes another 10, 20 years, I hope.
That's risky. I don't think I'll do that.
But you still have this human factor that is super important and has been forgotten the last century.
Yeah, and I agree. Certain jobs, even if, let's say, AIs take over those jobs, it will still create an elevated amount of new jobs that are not beneath us. And by beneath us, I mean we are one of the, if not the most complex machine in the created universe.
Yes.
We are not meant to, it's a waste rather, to stand in an assembly line and do that.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. It's a waste of human potential.
Exactly.
And now, talking about human potential now with like Elon Musk sending up all these satellites for global internet reach.
Yes.
Just imagine all the brains that will be connected to the internet, all the people, all the knowledge, even if that's complete other knowledge than we have here.
Right.
But it is, we have enormous complex computers up here, brains.
Exactly.
It's not even computers, it's much more than that. And the more of them we can connect together, the smarter we can be, the smarter technology we can be, and the best way to be sustainable and to save human lives is not to close down and go back and forbid, and it's new technology, new ways of solving things.
Exactly.
That's why we have much less death today than back in the 1800s, because we are burning oil. Until now, that actually saved tons of lives, because burning wood kills more people than burning oil.
How?
Of course, because it gets much more pollution in the air.
Oh.
Like if you went to London in a couple of hundred years ago, it was a completely fog of smoke.
Yes,
and that's
crude.
Really crude smoke that everybody was breathing and dying from when they were 40 years old. Today we live much longer, and oil had its time. We still need it for a lot of things, but of course we have to evolve beyond that.
Yeah.
And that's super. We cannot forbid oil.
No.
We have to build things that are better than oil.
Right. And that by doing that, by building the better, the worse will leave and cease to exist.
It's all about incentives.
Yeah.
You shouldn't forbid anything. You should incentivize everything. Like same when you have children.
Yeah.
What is best, to hit them or to actually incentivize them to do something good?
That's a good example.
It's incentivizing and telling why, and telling that if you do that, it's better for that, and you get something, or incentivizing.
So honestly, I see the problem is twofold. The first problem is, and by problem I mean problem with the fear with AI and the fear of us feeling that we will be less better off when AI comes, like with jobs, with whatnot. I feel the problem is twofold. It is, number one, people feel we have reached, meaning people feel like we can't really get better than this in terms of economy and jobs. People feel that the human capacity, what I do every day when I wake up and go to, this is the best, this is it. And anything that disrupts this will be, tremendously bad for the ecosystem, either economic or social. And I feel the second thing is as well, the fear, because they always compare it with horses, right? And like, well, horses used to pull people and carriages, and when cars came, horses lost their job. Yes, but our capacity is not that of a horse.
Right.
That's what a horse can offer.
Yes.
We can offer so much more.
Yes.
And that brings me now into our capacity grows almost exponentially with the better tools we have at our disposal.
Absolutely, it does, yes.
And speaking now of Elon Musk, with the whole thing with Mars, with the whole thing with the internet thing, and now with Neuralink.
Yes.
Now that you brought up and explained eloquently how this blockchain technology works, it actually gets me even more excited for the neural link than before. Because before I was like, wait, you put a chip in someone's skull, what would it do? Like,
right, yeah. So we have to be careful, and we have to do it in the right way. And I think sometimes Elon Musk is right there that we have to regulate this in the some way.
Right,
but the problem is, who can regulate it?
Right.
Who do we give that authority to?
To regulate this.
Then back again to blockchain. You can connect blockchain and AI together, so that AI has information. AI must always have information to learn from something.
Of course.
And if you connect AI and blockchain together, you can now let AI learn from verified information that is proven from a certain source with certain research criteria and so on. That's another area where we can store information in the blockchain is for research results and research data and all of that. There is so much manipulation today with all this COVID and everything, information. And so that's another solution we are working on as well, to store information securely for whatever kind of information that is. But blockchain is this time-stamped ledger where you can store information and prove later on that it was stored at that time and nobody can manipulate it.
Right.
And that can be used for the source to AI, so that it actually, we know what it learns. And
that's amazing. Honestly, the future has a capacity to be very bright in the terms of AI, blockchain technology, and now even quantum computers. Like, I feel we have just scratched the surface. We need to really step back on the forces, let's say, that are holding us back, in development. These things really need to.
And what we see now, I'm super positive for the future.
Yeah.
Even with all the turbulence now we see with in the States and governments and so on, I think this is just the transitional period to something better. Just like we had, just the information age we got with internet, that suddenly anybody can publish information that reach millions of people.
Yeah.
Now we go to the next step where we can actually use this in a smart way, and we don't need to have all of these centralized governments. We need governments, but not as big as we have today, and not as doing everything.
Yeah.
Now we have this decentralized system that can be that decentralized system that nobody owns. And that's the key word here. Nobody owns that central blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, and nobody controls it. It's controlled by everybody that uses it.
Right.
And that is something new that the world has never had before. That's a new invention that we still have to learn how to actually use it in the best way. And now for voting, for health information, for trading, for supply chains and everything, this can be used for all of that. And it's
amazing.
Mind-blowing.
It is.
So much to do and so little time.